joining me now to discuss a much bigger issue here at play, talking about domestic violence with domestic violence attorney Jessica Miles and Rachel Sklar, founder of The List. So ladies, welcome. First and foremost, this is so important that we talk about this. Rachel, to you first. This is personal for you. I don't know how many moons ago you were in a psychologically and physically abusive relationship. You wrote about that some months ago, about the punch that sort of in an odd way bonded you, which we'll get to. But given your view, your lens, when you read what Janae Rice wrote on Instagram today, what was your read?
So my read is that what Janae Rice isn't the issue. The issue to me is that the NFL and the Ravens chose to implicitly blame her for her role and make her take the blame. There was that infamous tweet, which has now been deleted, where they said Janae, I guess then at that point it was Palmer, regrets her role in the incident, and they talked about mitigating factors. You know, that video shows absolutely no mitigating factors. So, you know, my personal experience notwithstanding, and my personal experience, as we've seen from the hashtag why I stayed and why I left, has been shared by many, many women. You know, the issue here is not about what Janae Rice should or should not do. The point is that domestic violence is serious, needs to be taken seriously, and that the NFL did not take it seriously. As you said at the top of the show, you know, it was one thing when the world hadn't seen the video and quite another thing when the world had.
It changed everything. It changed everything. Your read.
I fully agree. I think that Janae's comments are heartbreaking, and yet they still show blaming herself, saying we regret this moment every day of our lives. I certainly hope that he regrets it, but I feel like that is still reflecting the victim blaming.
Is that what you see in these different cases over and over again?
Absolutely. I think that's part of why people stay, is they feel some sort of responsibility on the victim's side. And she also indicates feeling alone, and she is definitely not alone. And that's why I'm so glad you're bringing attention to this issue, because 1 in 4 women is physically assaulted by an intimate partner in a lifetime. Domestic violence costs our country over $5 billion a year in lost wages and unpaid medical bills. It's a truly tremendous problem. She's not alone, but she feels that way, and that is very unfortunate.
And men, too, we should point out, just reading all these different statistics today, something like 14% of men victims of domestic violence. Here's the other issue with this whole story. When we talk about this video, a lot of people are saying this is wonderful in that it is raising awareness. Others are saying every single time someone clicks on this video, she is re-victimized. Where do you stand on that?
You know, that's a tough one, right? It's out there. So awareness about difficult things doesn't get raised without awareness of those difficult things. And I think that the reason the video was so important is because, you know, it's irrefutable. You don't even see the sort of like the classic paradigm of losing control and then apologetic, you know, I'm sorry, baby, I'm so sorry, I don't know what came over me. I mean, that video showed a callous,
limp body and leaves her there.
And the other feet that's you know, that you could see in the video. The concern was very clearly for him and not for her, and that is what is so important about watching the video. It's difficult to watch, but you know, the NFL needs to have their callousness thrown in their face by the world so that this change can happen. That is an organization that really needs to change.
I agree, and I think you see so clearly in that video, this is not an anger management issue. There was some talk with his pretrial intervention and what he might be getting in terms of counseling, that there would be anger management. He wasn't having trouble managing his anger. He was perfectly calm after he knocked her out, and he pulled her off the elevator, and he discussed it with the casino employee. Perfectly calm.
Why have you said that this would further empower abusive men?
I think that, well, I think the NFL's response clearly did. I think it's absolutely disheartening. I think that it's understandable the prosecution dropped charges in light of the reconciliation and the difficulty of proceeding with a victimless prosecution. But obviously their response being so minimal compared with everything else that they have punished people for more harshly gives the message that it's okay.
When did you finally, I just want to end on this, when did you finally say this is not okay in your relationship? If you'll share.
It just got to that point. So I was in a abusive relationship. It started out verbally, and he would get explosive and angry. He punched a wall. There's still a dent in my wall from that. And then there was a physical altercation after which the disengagement process occurred, and the police did come. I was offered a victim report, which I did not fill out. And so, and I'm not going to go questioning my motives and my responses at the time. They were what they were, but I can say from my own experience that so often it's not that simple as like the police came, great, I can just hand over this problem to you. It's about, in that moment, the pressure is on you to not ruin that person's life, to not escalate it further, to, we can deal with this, we can make it happen.
But you
it's
got
just
out.
between us.
You finally left.
I did get out, and I'm happy every day that I did, but when I see this, I won't say it's a trigger in terms of it doesn't upset me, it angers me, because I recognize that this happens so often, and one of the reasons that I shared my story is because I'm an advocate for women. People see me as being confident and powerful. It can happen to anyone.
You know what?
And it's about relationships.
Good. We should be angry. We should be angry, and we should be talking about this.